Hi, Caesar here again. Right now, what we're going to do is basically use mineral spirits. I believe I can speak now. I'm using an odorless paint thinner, and I pulled this out of my paint supplies. Normally, I use just your regular Home Depot mineral spirits, which is basically a paint thinner, again, odorless. And this one here does not burn, or should I say dissolve the clay quickly, so it's great. I want a slow burn. If you use something that's a little too strong, you'll do damage to your piece and you remove too much of the detail. So I kind of transfer some over to this here. I don't want to have too much of this thinner, even though it's odorless. The vapors, fumes still get in the air, and I'm not well ventilated in here, so therefore I want to use this here. And I also don't want to cover too much of the piece, because the more surface you're covering, the more vapor you have in the air. And again, it's not good for our lungs. Anyhow, I tested this out already in a small little section. I like the way it works. It works really slow. So I just kind of brush it on, and the areas that have been hit already, I just allow them a little time to start working. Then I'll go back with the brush and just kind of start smoothing out, blending. I have different size brushes. Um, for more detail, I use a smaller brush for certain areas. But for this purpose, we're going to go ahead and just try to use this brush, which is basically, I think, a 1/4 inch in width. And it's the same process I use for large sculptures. For those, I would take out outdoors and just use one of those paint brushes, 1 inch thick, and just apply it over the whole surface. And when it starts, I don't want to say melting, but softening the outer layer, I just go back and kind of brush back and forth and blend, eliminate some of the tool marks. In fact, most of them. Certain solvents works better with different clays. It's the same process. If you're used to working with a water-based clay, you would use water and a sponge or a brush to get the some effects here. Even though this is odorless, I could actually still smell it. And what I like doing is applying this, letting it dry, then coming back and adding more detail. And I'll probably hit this again with the same process. Since I don't want to be holding this head while I'm doing this here, because when you apply this here, it gets it somewhat slippery, and it picks up your fingerprints really easily. So I attached it back onto the armature here. Now the head for this particular horse will probably end up down here somewhere, not up here. The reason I have it further up is because I don't want gravity to take hold and end up slipping off this rod and end up hitting my head on the floor. I've lost pieces before for not being careful, especially if it's a warm day. They have a tendency to kind of slip off the back. This should be a quick video. And one of the reasons I want to get this area somewhat smooth and ready is because I want to introduce the veins that go on the head. Let me move this further back. You see the brush is kind of taking the color of the clay right now, and that kind of tells me that yes, it's working. It's not the fumes that's making me cough. I'm getting over a cold. Those of you that are painters, it's basically the same process. When you start putting your paint on the canvas, then you come back with a brush and some kind of solvent, whether it be water for acrylics or paint thinner or turpentine for oils. You're doing is just basically blending. I kind of see it as somewhat of an ultra sculpting. In other words, it just takes a long time just to get something going here. At times, I'll just work it and move the clay slightly with this brush. Kind of like the this YouTube streaming. They say save me quite some time. The only drawback now I see is that I cannot do any editing. What you see is what you get, but it does allow me to put a thumbnail on the video. Let's see, the bottom. Inside of the mouth. The mouth still needs a lot of work. It's somewhat rough. I need to detail the tongue and the upper and lower teeth. I'm using a Logitech cam here. One of these, what is it? It says HD 1080p, but for whatever reason, I can't seem to upload that resolution. The best uploading is 720. I think it's the 920 cam. And again, this is monster clay I'm using for this piece. I think this is my second or third time using this clay. And so far, I'm very pleased with it. I notice I'm getting too much of a highlight there. Wonder what it'll look like if I turn off the lights. Let me see. Not good. Hmm. Oh well, it's not the best resolution there. I'm looking at my monitor and I can see what you guys are saying. And I'm getting too much of a bounce on the light there. Let me see if I can get this darn thing to zoom. No, I can't seem to see. This will be too close. Oh well. As you can see, most of my tool marks are gone, and it's leaving me with the smooth surface. That works. As you can see, there's subtle changes. It's not an aggressive process. And the ears will probably be tweaked later once the horse is in place and I see how it interacts with the rest of the horses and the guy riding it. I'll probably tweak the ears, have them face a different direction. Right now, they're just facing to the rear. And these brushes, they're soft and bristle. I want to say they're nylon, but they're not. Are they? Nope, don't have a brush here. They're put away, but I had an app on my computer before that allowed me to zoom with this cam. It's been years I haven't used it, so I may look for it because it's kind of annoying moving the camera closer to the piece. I wouldn't be surprised if I revisit this later and opt to add more, excuse me, more clay right here in this section. Seems a little thin because the cheeks here are pretty hefty now. Turn out to be a little meaty. And again, I'm just following their style, the way they sculpted these things back then, even though some horse hobbyists may look at this here and say, well, this is not correct, it is too big. As you can see, it's starting to get a little, I don't want to say gummy, but thick, almost like a little paste. I'd like to get that and just kind of put it back on and let it work the clay here. Okay, I'm going to seal this here I'm just going to work with what I have now. For this piece, I will not be adding fur texture like I normally do, like when I do dog sculptures. I'm gonna leave the fur. I'm not sure if you want to call it fur. The hair smooth. Huh. You see what I'm looking at right there. Here's my monitor. There it is. And that's what the camera's seeing right now. I see there's one viewer. That viewer, if you guys want to ask questions, go ahead. You have to do it in the chat section there. Looks funny. Probably tomorrow I'll add the veins big on the face. This back. Boy, this cam's not adjusting to the light source. I see sections are too darn bright. Oops. So anyway. There's a couple of areas I need to correct later. Here, I can see a little pit here. I gotta add clay to that later once it dries. And I'll think about this area overnight. I think it's too much of a jump from here to here. I'm gonna have to bring this up a little, add more clay like I said earlier. I could already feel and see the thinner evaporating. The brush doesn't glide on the surface as well as it did earlier. I don't want to say it's tacky, but I could feel it not gliding. Maybe next time I'll try a different camera. On it I could use the zoom control on. Putting the veins on the face is fairly quick, so I may start the same day, start applying clay to the body here. Let me check one thing, see if I could control the brightness on this here. Let's see. Screen share, capture, control room. What does the control room do? Control room has nothing to do with brightness or anything. Oh, I can really feel the brush now. It's beginning to stiffen up. Okay, I guess that's it for now. I'll give it good 24 hours to completely dry. Then what I'll do, I'll scribe the veins where I think they should go, and I'll create little worms with clay, apply them on there, and take a tool to kind of blend them in. All right. I guess that's it for now. Thanks for being, guys.